Welcome to The Big Picture. I'm your host, Larry Ragland, and this is the Kingdom Intelligence Report. And this is the first Thursday of the month. That means we have in the studio with us none other than Pastor Paul Begley of the Coming Apocalypse YouTube television program. And he's got a brand new book about to come out. Timely. It's going to change the world. A lot of stuff going on in Israel, a lot of stuff going on in China, still stuff going on in Ukraine. The world has been turned upside down. War on every corner. What does the Bible say about it? What do we need to do to prepare ourselves for what is coming? Nobody better to address those questions than Paul Begley. It is the Coming Apocalypse on The Big Picture. Yes, it's Pastor Paul Begley is on the show with us today, the Kingdom Intelligence Report. Without further ado, let us welcome into the studio the man, the myth, the legend, Pastor Paul Begley.
I mean, I feel like The Rock, man, entering into the arena. You know, crowd goes wild. I love it here.
Yes, yeah. Well, you know, whether it's on our show or in the pulpit at my church, we're going to give you a WWE introduction, you know. So
I love that.
That's just what we do, man.
I'm just going to have to accept that. Okay.
That's right. You got to accept it. Well, Pastor Paul, how are you and Heidi and everything that's going on in the world right now? What's going on in the Begley world?
Hey, tonight we're doing a special, Halloween special, actually, called In the Dark, in which we expose, and this was done by primarily Heidi and my son Bart, and I do one. So there's 5 presentations, but primarily there's 2 documentary. Bart did one called it's the bio on Aleister Crowley. Okay, it's good too. And then Heidi did a presentation called The Epitome of Evil.
Oh my goodness!
And where she has dug out a guy. I don't know if you heard about that guy in Kentucky that had 40 skulls. They found him with.
Yes.
Okay. Well, she wanted to know, where did the guy get 40 skulls? She went to digging, and she started to find out how and what's going on in the darkness with body parts and things happening. It's going to blow your mind. She exposes the guy out of Massachusetts. You'll find out. It's nowhere in the news either.
Let me show this. And by the way, if you're watching this, Halloween has already happened because this is Thursday night. We're recording it on Halloween, but this is applicable even after Halloween because this is dealing with the spirit realm, the demonic realm, because we're facing devils every single day, and the Church of Satan and worshiping of devils and so forth is very involved in the world in which we live today. And I've got up on the web on the screen here, paulbegleyprophecy.com. When you go there, you can see the Halloween special webinar. I'm assuming, Pastor, even after Halloween, people can still order this and watch this webinar. Oh, yeah,
they can. So tonight, as you're watching this, folks, you can go there later after Larry's show and get this and watch it. Yeah, it's incredible. It's going to blow your mind. But she wants to, the Lord made an open show of the devil.
Come on.
And I'm tired of the demons, and I know you've been dealing with the demons for all your ministry, and so have I. And I'm tired. But sometimes we got to find out where the origin of this evil. There's wickedness going on all around us, right in your neighborhood, and you don't even know it.
Yeah.
So,
And that's why I was honored to be a part of your last webinar on Revelation. We talked about going all the way back to the Tower of Babel, bringing it into the spirit of Babylon.
Yes,
and then I'm also honored to be a part of your next webinar, Invasion America, that's going to be coming out Friday, December 1st. So let's hit that real quick, and then we're going to get into the news. Don't anybody go anywhere, but I want to just go ahead and tell people up front right now that I'm honored to be a part of that as well, Invasion America. They can go ahead and get that webinar now. Give us the 60-second rundown of what that webinar is going to be about.
This is going to be amazing. I'm so glad you're a part of it, Larry. There's no doubt about that. It's about not just the invasion of the southern border, but and all the terrorists that are coming in, and all the fentanyl, and all the thousands are dying, and the cartels of Mexico running both sides of the border. But it's the invasion of the culture,
Yeah.
of the agendas,
Yes.
of the all of and the corruption of the education system, the
Yeah.
invasion of our bodies.
Right.
Look, there's so many invasions America's under, and the threat from China and Russia and everywhere else.
Yes.
So
Yes.
this is an incredible, in-depth look at America under siege right now.
Wow.
Invasion America.
Wow. If you have not hit that like button, I'm encouraging you to do that right now. Hit that like button to subscribe. If you have not subscribed to our channel, do it now and enable those notifications, because you're going to want to know about all that's going on. You got to stay abreast. You got to stay in touch with Pastor Paul, all these others that we have on here. Why? Because these are voices that are keeping us awake to what is happening in our world right now. Pastor Paul, obviously one of the biggest things that is on everybody's mind, and you are covering it extensively as news breaks on your regular shows, Mike from Around the World and so forth. We're breaking down information that you're not getting from the mainline secular media. Of course, we know what happened on October 7th, the horrible, horrific terrorist attack against the innocent civilians of Israel. Now it's taken a while. People was wondering, why is it taking so long? But we start seeing now it's a systematic thing. Bibi is taking them into Gaza. But even as we speak at the time of this recording, don't know when you're going to be watching this, but as you're watching this now, we're beginning to see the insertion, the blatant insertion, not even really just sort of hiding it and going through someone else. Iran is threatening, if you go after Hezbollah, which of course we know Hezbollah is going to go after Israel, they're saying we're going to insert ourselves into it. Now we have Yemen, we have Lebanon, we have all. So give us a breakdown of where we're at, how volatile it is, and do you think that maybe the demonic forces and the haters and the enemies of Israel just sort of realize, if we're ever going to take out Israel, this is our last shot? Is that what you think?
I think that yes, I see the urgency of the Islamic terrorist world, the demons. I don't think they thought that when they went in and did this slaughter on Israel, that, they knew Israel was going to respond, okay? They knew they were going to get hit with an airstrikes, and but they didn't anticipate Israel saying, that's it. We're coming to annihilate Hamas, and no amount of pressure from the world is going to stop us. I don't think they thought this was going to happen. And now they see that these guys are serious about it. You're starting to see the reaction of the rest of the Islamic world. Little by little, they're all jumping in. They're all threatening Israel that if you keep going, we're coming, Iran. And Larry, to be, like you said, Yemen's joined in, Lebanon's coming in, Syria's ready to jump in. And Hamas and Iran went to Moscow.
Think about it.
And made looking for you. Do you guys got our back? If we go all in, do you got our back? That's what they were looking for. Yep. Meanwhile, Putin went to China and might have said, "Hey, if I back them and if I go all in, do you got my back?"
Wow.
The deals are being put together, and the Bible says, when you see Jerusalem compassed about with many armies, know that the desolation thereof is nigh. And so, I think these guys think they better make a move now. If it's either now or never. We may be going from, as I preached in your church back early October, right after this happened.
Yeah,
I believe that this was the beginning of Psalms 83.
Yeah,
and I truly believe we're in Psalms 83. And the question is, do we go into Ezekiel 38? Do we go into a higher escalation?
Yeah.
I have to say, maybe it's looking bad.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that we showed this week on our Big Picture live show that we do every Monday night, let me throw this up here if you didn't know anything about this. This is every Monday night. Sandy and I do a live show here where we break down the news, where you're not going to see that kind of news anywhere else. But one of the things we showed is a particular channel that I don't know if you're familiar with. I don't really follow him that much, but his name is Canadian Prepper. And somebody had sent me this video, and he showed this video of this graphic, and then later on I saw the same graphic on some of the sites that you and I follow, and it was showing all of the naval ships that are in the Persian Gulf and in that area. It's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. I'm talking about
really is.
the largest in the world, Gerald Ford, the Eisenhower. I mean, we started trying to name all the ships that were there, that's been moved over there, and we didn't have enough time to name them all. And that's just America, not to mention all the others that's coming over there. So we were talking about I'm saying all that to bring this back to what you just said about how the parties involved are meeting in person. And we pointed out, in the day of technology, doing what we're doing right now, I'm in Alabama. You're in, I don't know, Florida, maybe.
I'm in Florida right now.
You're in Florida. So you never know where Paul Bailey is going to be. But right now he's in Florida. But, but we're talking just like we're in the room here. And there are ways our government has to have secure lines and all this. But yet these leaders are not using technology. They are going and sitting in rooms together, closing the doors, turning off phones. And my mind goes to, why did Rocket Man from North Korea take a train to Russia? Now why is Putin meeting with Xi Jinping? Why is all these parties meeting in person? Pastor, I think you and I both agree it's because something big is coming. It's bigger than anything in Israel. It's bigger than Taiwan. It is. Let's call it what it is. It's World War III that's being plotted.
World War III.
And they're all wanting to know who's behind who's got who, because when we go all in, there's no turning back. And for America to take that many ships, and one of the things that he said on that video, the largest movement of military assets since World War II. We've never seen this since World War II. So, Pastor, is this bigger than what's going on in the Middle East? Are we going to get pulled into World War III from what's happening in the Middle East, China, and all around the world?
I think, I hate to say it, you never want to say World War III is actually here, but all the indications, as you just said, are pointing that it is. And so when I say Psalms 83 is here at this moment, that's just the starting gate.
Yeah.
And even if we said Ezekiel 38 is here, that's just round two. You're talking about a preparation going on globally for what's called the Sixth Trumpet War.
Yep.
It's found in Revelation chapter 9. It's after Apollyon comes out of the bottomless pit and releases four more demons worse than we've seen. They've been trapped under the Euphrates River, waiting, just begging to come. And when they're released, it creates a war that kills 1/3
think about it
of the world, or is it? 1/3 of the world, I think. So that would include all these guys that you see talking in private. The Russians, the Iranians, the Chinese, the North Koreans, Turkey, who's now coming out and trashing Israel. I mean, and all the other proxies. So and I think that's why I was led to write the book Revelation 9/11. I really do. And now, I mean, the urgency that the Lord came on me that day to write, and I've been 2 years working on it, and I've been wanting to get it out a year ago, and God's in control of the timing. So there's a reason for that.
Yes, sir.
I'm with you, Larry. Matter of fact, I just got some information while I was in Missouri. Because Dr. Lake is former military, and most of his church are packing. Okay.
Yes.
And there's a manufacturer, an ammunition manufacturer there in the Ozarks. And since Biden came in office, since the day Trump left, all military ammunition orders were canceled.
What?
They went from 3 shifts to 1 shift making ammunition, and only 15% of what they made was actually being saved for the military or to go to the military. 85% of everything they were making the whole time Biden's been in office was for residential. Okay. But they just got a phone call. And that has changed. They're now going to 3 shifts, and everything is to be manufactured for the military. Don't even sell it to the public. Okay. So
wow,
there's been a shift. You're talking about all these boats and all these ships and warships moving, as you said, assets. Well, there's some replenishing needs to go on probably, and then there's other things. So there is ammunition, and I've heard this from other folks as well, that there's another plant So things are changing.
Well, and what I'm being told too, on the record and off the record, is that these young men and women that are going to have their lives on the front lines in all of this that are being shipped, because no matter what kind of technology you got, there's people on that technology, and there's lives that's involved here, and they're being told basically prepare for the worst. And look, they're even having meetings saying we need to train now our military once again how to deal emotionally with their buddy that they've been rooming with being taken from them and being killed. They're being trained. I'm being told that the military is going back into the psychological aspect where some of the upper echelon leaders were taking leadership training on how to be woke and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
That's off the board now.
That's off the board.
There's no more. Now they're training about, okay, that was all good for us. We thought that's where we're going. You now need to train these men and these women to put their life on the line, because many of them are about to go into full-blown war. So this is the real deal. There's open discussions of the draft again, open discussions of running scenarios where AI runs the scenarios, and it grieves me to say it, but we lose every one, every situation. Some of them are even saying 10,000 lives gone per day. And it's like, it's unbelievable that we're even saying this. And I know people are watching this, Pastor Paul, and they're just saying, you're just trying to hype this up. You're trying to get clicks. No, we're really trying to tell you the real world that's happening.
Exactly. And look, this is what's going on. This is exactly what's taking place. The preparation as well as the warfare, as you say, bring up, is going on. And so what we're doing is telling people, you got to get your lives in order, and you got to start really taking things serious out there, because it is serious. And I think, Larry, I always worry that there's so many people who have no idea, no clue, and they're going to be caught flat-footed without knowing what in the world they should do, or what's happening, or is this tied to the Bible in any way, or what's going to happen to their families. I mean, this is serious, folks. It is serious situation developing.
Well, let me ask you this. One of the things that we're talking about war, and one of the things that nobody's talking about, Pastor, there's still a war in Ukraine. I mean, nobody's even talking about it. I mean, this war's been going on for how long now? Over 2 years? I don't know. I mean, and if you add up everything, humanitarian, we're even sending money to help people with their 401ks while our 401ks are disappearing. We're helping them make sure they get their retirement. When you add all that up, already before what they're asking for now, it's over $100 billion. But when's the last time you saw a military embedded reporter? When's the last time you saw footage of a war? I've not even seen Zelensky in I don't know how long. I mean, you don't hear about it whatsoever, but yet you turn on the TV, and if one bomb blows off in the background in Gaza, somebody's covering it 24/7. But yet all this money, all this time, it's like the world has just moved on. But there's still aggression and war with Russia going on. Taiwan is still being circled in claims on the China Sea and enhancing their borders. And China is saying, if you help Taiwan, I'm coming after you. It's like now everybody's looking at moving the military assets to the Middle East. But do we not also still have a war going on in Ukraine and a potential war in China? What in the world? Is it a matter of there's so much stuff going on, people are distracted?
No, I think this is always orchestrated by the media. George Soros is behind a lot of this. And the global elitists, they got this war going on in Ukraine. They're not going to tell us any more about that, because they don't want us to put one and one together and it makes two. They don't want us to see this as a global conflagration taking place. So, and anyway, Israel is the prize. Jerusalem is the prize. Right. And Jews are being hated on all over the world. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. So, yeah, you're right. And how much money have we sent to Ukraine? Where's it all going? Yeah. And is it a slush fund for the Democrat Party because we have an election 2024? I mean, they did it once before. This is not look, we're finding out everything. We're finding Biden's 82,000 pages now of emails that we ran on 3 separate private servers. This guy had way more than Hillary.
Yep.
We don't. But these are, and we got the Trump trials, and the kids got to testify this week, as you guys have been seeing. This is Thursday night. So if you think about this all the way, Larry, you're right. How in the world did we just shut off a war in Europe, which is threatening NATO countries?
Yeah,
and it's just it's not over.
No, Pastor Paul,
Poland,
maybe I've just missed it, and if you know this number, please tell me. I've tried to find what's the latest death toll.
I can't.
How many people's been killed? Nobody's
I don't know.
I've not heard anybody even talk about that.
No. And buildings are blowing up, and apartment complexes, and kids have been stolen and taken into Russia. There's tons of stuff. You don't hear anything about nothing. I don't know how many people were killed. I don't know what's going on. I don't know.
We don't know. Why?
Who's winning?
Why? Who's winning?
I don't even know who's winning.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. But you know every single person that's been taken hostage in Israel, and you should. You know every person that's been killed in Israel, and you should. Both sides. Look, The bottom line is we hear that number every day.
Yes, we do.
We don't hear nothing about Ukraine, and this is not just a skirmish. This is Russia.
I know. This is Russia.
Come on, this is a nuclear power. The former Iron Curtain, Russia. USSR, former Russia, that they still want to be that again. And then you've got China, and they're meeting. While there's a war going on in Ukraine, they're meeting about other things besides Ukraine. It's almost like, and just getting your opinion here, Pastor, it's almost like all the parties involved know that the war in Ukraine is actually over, that Russia is just sort of just trying to keep it alive with, and keeping the war talk alive, but they've destroyed Ukraine. No one wants to tell us that we've lost a war that we've been fighting by proxy, and they're just trying to move on, but they don't want to admit it. Am I even close to the truth here?
You are absolutely dead on what's happening, and they don't want to show us, because Joe Biden is calling himself the war president. Well, I like the debacle that he did in Afghanistan.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now the billions that he's thrown into this Ukraine thing, which is going to end up a loss. And now this huge Middle East situation. And you're right. They're all meeting with each other. Who's Biden meeting with?
Yeah, good point.
I mean, have you seen UK? Is he getting together with UK and with France? And with NATO, even Jens Stoltenberg, the head of NATO. Do you see where's the Australian president? What's his name? Look, where are our people, our allies? They're not flying talking to each other.
No.
And Netanyahu was shunned. Finally, Biden had to show up and kind of give him the parameters of war. But I don't think Netanyahu cares what parameters of war. But if you look at it, you just said it: Russia, China, Iran, Turkey, North Korea. They're working. They're moving. They're driving. They're flying. They're talking. And on our side, where's Winston Churchill? Where's FDR? Where's Neville Chamberlain? Where is Charles? I forgot his name now, from France. Where are these people? They're not. Do you see anything going on?
Nothing. There's nothing going on. We're just throwing money, wanting more money, throwing money, and thinking, I've got to be careful here. But the truth is, Pastor, you and I both know we don't have a president. It's like, there is that deep state that is running, making decisions. The reason that our president is not meeting with those people is, can we dare say it? He can't. And it's like there's just and the whole world is looking at our country as a laughingstock. No one is intimidated by America. Nothing coming out of Washington, whether it's Republican or Democrat saying it, intimidates anybody. They feel emboldened. They feel empowered. They feel like if there has ever been a time to get what we want, it is now. They need to do it. They think they need to do it before the next election. That's why I think all of this is rapidly happening, because they want to get this underway. And I believe, in my opinion, whoever runs on the Democratic Party is hoping this happens so that they can run in wartime and say, whether you agree with our economic policies or not, we don't need instability. We need, to keep things consistent.
Unification, keep consistency, and stay unified together, and very well could be the strategy, no doubt about it. That could easily be the strategy.
But did you see this, Pastor? Did you see Gavin Newsom went to China?
He was in China.
What?
Okay, so we just got done saying nobody on the Western side is meeting except Newsom with China. Are you serious? China. I mean, and it's like, well, what has he got to talk about with China? Okay,
exactly.
Trade maybe, but here's the deal. Or is he saying to the Chinese President Xi, hey, look, Joe's probably out. He's in, and I'm probably in. Mm-hmm. So know this, everything that Joe set up with you, we're going to keep it going.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, there's been how much money has flown from China's government into the Biden family. So, I mean, exactly. What do we sell out? I mean, what's going on here? This is a dangerous time.
Yeah.
And I think most Americans are asleep. I think the media is complicit with this, and the deep state's in control.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, from what I'm hearing, and I'm sure you're hearing the same thing, is it's looking like Gavin Newsom and possibly Michelle Obama as vice president.
Yeah, and if that's the case, they'll win.
They'll win. Yeah,
they'll win.
That's almost unbeatable. Yes. I mean, because people don't care about policy; they care about personality.
Yes.
And
Trump is going to go through 4 trials, maybe 5. I guess now they're starting a trial out in Colorado. Where's that?
Yeah,
no, Utah.
Trying to declare the 14th Amendment and all that. Yeah,
and take his name off the ballot. So he's going to be battered and bruised from every direction, broken, family losing millions. I mean, there's a lot going on here, and you can't. I mean, if you put Newsom and Michelle Obama together, they'll win.
Yeah. Yeah, she keeps denying that she's going to run, but that's what they do. And honestly, I think we both know that Obama's the president right now anyway, so by proxy. So this would just be a continuation of that, and we all know that. And that's not hating on anybody. That's just
just the way that's facts.
It's just facts. It's just facts. So Pastor, all right. So now we have talked about the Psalm 38 war. We've talked about the Ezekiel war. We've talked about end times. We've talked about trumpet wars. We've talked about seals being broken. I'm sure you get it all the time on our show now. Is the seals being opened?
Which seal is it? Yeah, which seal?
All that kind of stuff. So I just tell people the bottom line is this. I'm still here, so I'm going to preach the gospel as long as I'm here. I don't know where I'm at in the big picture there of God's kingdom, but while I'm here, I'm going to preach the gospel.
Amen.
So, Pastor, where are we going next? What is about to happen in your gut? Just in your gut, and I know this is just your opinion, but what do you see happening in Israel? Where do you see it escalating? Do you think Netanyahu has it in him to actually finish Hamas, or do you think the pressures of the world will cause them to have this so-called ceasefire? Where do you think it's going?
Oh, he has it in him to finish off Hamas. He does. He has it in him. But could the world put him in a vice so tight that he has to leave 10% of Hamas alive so they can but he's setting them back, okay? But will he have to let them have a last-second voice and not completely finish them? That might happen, okay? That really might be the case, but I personally pray he finishes them off, and he's got the gusto to do it. But we're not sitting in his shoes with every other possibility and scenario and the help he needs from the Americans and all that, so, but I think he's going to bring it to the point that the rest of the world, and I'm talking the Islamic world, is going to jump in. Yes, I do see it escalating past Gaza.
Well, what about the threats from America saying that if Iran gets involved, Hezbollah comes across the north, all of that we're going to get involved? Do you think that America has the gumption to follow through? Are we just trying to scare tactics about all those aircraft carriers that we got out there? Or do you think we'll actually join the war? It seems a little hard for me to believe because this administration is sort of almost word-only support of Israel. but would we actually put our men and women's lives on the line to fight against the Arab world?
Well, we've been attacked now 21 times in the Middle East. We've responded twice to 2 empty warehouses in the sand in Syria. Pretty anemic response.
Yes.
So if you're asking me, would we? I'm not real confident. I have more confidence that Netanyahu's going to finish off Hamas than I do that we would jump in and take on Iran. I would hope we would do it. I would think every general in the army would scream to do it. But I just don't. Maybe I'm just going to say that I would give it a 25% chance. It depends. I think that the United States doesn't want to fight unless it means it's against us.
Yeah.
It's got to come down our street.
Yeah.
And we have so many of these terrorists that are already in America, just waiting on a call. I want to bring up the guy in Maine. Okay.
Yeah.
One guy kills 18 people, wounds a bunch of more. Mm-hmm. Imagine if 1,000 guys like him across this entire nation in the same hour started the same lone wolf attack. It would be absolute chaos.
Yep.
The police can't respond to everything. People would be shooting each other. Americans are armed, so they're going to defend themselves, but they don't know their neighbor, so they might think the neighbor with the gun is also a bad guy. I mean, this would be chaos on top of chaos.
Wow.
And I feel like that this thing in Maine is a test. We've had a lot of shooters. But this was different. This was a small town.
It was different.
Something about this was different. And so beware. It may take something like that.
And you can't believe anything. One of the things Sandy pointed out this week when we were talking about it is, we're so skeptical of everything now. It's like, did he really kill himself?
I don't know.
Was he finished with some kind of programming
or whatever? Was he MK Ultra? Was he a programmer?
And then was he eliminated? Yeah. And but you're right. That would be absolute chaos. And then you think about the southern border is wide open. You think about they have the ones that we know of, they've arrested over 130 that was on the terror watch list that we know of that was arrested.
So how many got away?
How many got away? 1,000? Exactly. And then you've got cells all around. Don't you know that there are people in this country? This ain't scare tactics. We're just trying to give you facts here. This is facts. There are people in this country right now that are waiting on the time or the assignment to activate. And one of the things that I saw Pastor Jack Hibbs say this week that I just loved his analogy. He said, Hamas knows, and Hezbollah and especially Iran, he's mainly talking about Iran, knows they cannot go into Israel full-fledged to annihilate Israel unless they completely eliminate the backing of America. And they know, and so he said the way they're doing it is through the protests and through the narrative. So they're fighting the war. Listen to this, y'all. They're fighting the war in Israel on the streets of America. Yes. Wow. It is like they are literally turning within a week, Pastor, within a week of the massacre.
We predicted it. We said they'll be with Israel for 1 week, and then they'll switch. They'll flip. And they have.
They
globally.
Globally.
And they just passed resolutions. I just read it on the video I just did a minute ago. They just passed a resolution condemning Israel. Majority of the world, there was only United States, there was only like 14 nations that didn't.
Wow.
And Israel was the one attacked. Israel was the one attacked.
Think about it. It's insane. But you know what? That's where the wars are fought now, Pastor, is the war of information, the war of the narrative. If you own the narrative, you can turn these little mind-numb robots called human beings any direction you want to turn them now because of the medium that we're on right now, the medium of social media and influence. They know that. So what he was pointing out is, hey, their goal is to annihilate and wipe out, there's no such thing. Can I help some of you? There is no such thing in the Arab world as a two-state solution. They don't want a two-state solution.
They don't want it. They had this offered to them in 1947. Okay, before Israel even was become a nation, they offered it to both groups of people, and Israel said yes, we want to be a nation, and the Arabs said no. Okay, and then Israel so they made Israel a nation. So then the Arabs said no, no, and so then they started attacking them, and this has gone on in 48. It happened again 49. They did it again in 67. They did it again in 73, and here we are today.
Yeah, because the two-state solution means you have to acknowledge Israel, and they do not want to acknowledge Israel. And
Never.
So this whole silly thing about there has to be a two, and here we are, our president, our vice president, all these are back saying it again. It's got to end up in a two-state solution. No, the Palestinian people themselves said, the PLO, starting back from the PLO to the Palestinians, they all said, Jerusalem has to be the exclusive capital of Palestine or there's no deal. Israel's not going to agree to that.
No, never.
Never. So the bottom line is there's no such thing as a two-state solution. So what do they have to do? Their goal is to wipe out Israel. They got to turn the narrative. And it breaks my heart, Pastor. They are winning the narrative war. And just like that, the world, I mean, you got homosexuals who would be killed if they admitted who they were in these nations. Because of those Islamic law, marching in the streets in drag, holding up a Palestinian flag, and there's memes being made said, who wants to tell them? Who's going to be the first to tell them?
Yeah.
It's like, come on, you're protesting, you're just joining whatever the wave is. But if you did this in the country that you're supporting, you would be killed the moment you did it.
Yep, you'd be thrown off a building. That's what they do. They're thrown
Unbelievable.
Well, it shows you that our higher education are not teaching the people the real truth or the real world. I don't know. They're turning them all into activists, idiot activists who don't even know what they're activating about. They don't even know what they're protesting about, and they're not being informed. And they made them passionate about it. They made them They shut the Brooklyn Bridge down. Of course, we know Brooklyn is where 6 million Jews live. So, I mean, we're watching streets all over America and all over the Middle East and Europe. It's going on there, too.
Well, even in Russia, you saw the video where they're going through the airport hunting Jews because they heard a plane from Israel was going to land.
This is World War II. This stuff went on in World War II. Everything that you see happening is almost a repeat, but the weapons are way worse.
Yeah.
And the demons are a lot more violent. This is a most dangerous time in the history of the world is right now tonight.
Well, let's just go with that, Pastor, because the truth is, your name is Paul Begley. My name is Larry Ragland. We both have YouTube channels. We cover breaking news, but we are both men of God. We are preachers of the gospel. And why we do what we do on this channel to inform people, but to always point them back to the only hope there is. So, Pastor, for those that are like scared to death, because there's a lot of people scared to death right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people's like, I don't want to leave my house. I don't want to go to the store anymore. I don't want to do anything because what's going to happen to me and all this. Fear is gripping this world, but we need to know that God doesn't want us to operate in the spirit of fear, but power, love, and a sound mind. We're just trying to open up your mind to what's going on so you can know how to pray. So, Pastor, would you take just a few minutes on this Kingdom Intelligence Report and give us some kingdom intelligence? We've been talking about worldly. Give us some kingdom intelligence of where we need to go.
Thank you, Larry. Bishop, listen, God said, I'm not going to give you the spirit of fear, but I'm going to love you. I'm going to give you a sound mind. Okay. Paul, when he wrote in 2 Thessalonians 2, he didn't write that letter to the Thessalonian church. Not really. I know that's where the letter went. He wrote it to this church because he said, see that you be not troubled in mind or in spirit or in word or by letter that I'm sending to you. For the end will not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed. I'm just kind of quoting off the top of my head. And that man, that wicked one, the son of perdition, he is going to rise, and he's going to bring terror and fear to the world, basically. And he's going to be oppressive. He is the Antichrist. So Paul was writing a letter to the future that this day would come. And he didn't want us to have the spirit of fear, but have confidence in the Lord. Jesus said, let not your heart be troubled. If you believe in God, then believe also in me. For my Father's house are many mansions, and if it weren't so, I wouldn't have told you that. I'm going to go and prepare a place for you, and where I am, there you may be also. He promised us he would come back for the church. Meanwhile, he told us to put on the whole armor of God, to really build yourself up in the Holy Ghost. Okay, praying in the Spirit, reading in the Word, walking in faith and confidence in the God that you serve, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, his son, Jesus Christ, who conquered sin, sickness, poverty, and spiritual death at the cross and at the grave. And so the good news is we're the bride, and he's coming back for the bride. Yes. He's coming back after the redeemed. And until he does, occupy, stay focused, keep loving on one another, keep doing what you know you need to do, and don't walk around in fear. You've got huge guardian angels all around you. They've been assigned to you from heaven, and they are the kingdom's angels, and they're with you. So, and if you don't know Christ as your Savior, now that's the folks I need to tell you. Yeah. You're the old saying is you're a dead man walking. Yes. You got to get on the winning team here, okay? Yes. And it's the best thing you can ever do is give your life to Jesus Christ, be born again, and be a part of the kingdom, the real kingdom of God.
So let's do that. If you're watching this and your heart is just racing, your fears trying to overtake you, but you're ready to surrender, here's what you do. You reject the old man. You reject the ways of sin. You ask Jesus right now to forgive you of your sins, come into your heart and save you. Make him Lord over your life. Make him Lord over everything that's going on around you so that you can look through, remember the old country song, looking through rose-colored glasses? You can look through kingdom glasses. And when you are born again, you'll see wars and rumors of wars and earthquakes in diverse places in a different light. Instead of it scaring you to death, it will let you know time is at hand. I need to get my family saved. I need to be a witness. It will turn it as a motivator to you. So if you prayed that prayer, you gave your life to Jesus, comment down below. Let us know. I'll let Pastor Paul know. And I want to show everybody before we go, Pastor, we talked about it earlier, but I want to remind people of this incredible book that God put on your heart, Revelation 9:11, how the book of Revelation intersects with today's headlines. Come on. I mean, you couldn't have planned that a better title if you planned it out yourself. But you can now pre-order this you can see right here, you go to his website, purchase, reserve your copy here. So much stuff going on. You've got webinars where you can go back and look at the webinar that they just did on Halloween, as well as the new one that's coming out on December 1st, Invasion America. And then we're still believing God. Go ahead.
For the whole, and the Amazon, if you go to Amazon, you can pre-order that book right now. Okay. 9/11. Yes. But the Holy Land, yes. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're still believing God that the Holy Land is going to happen, even though all this is going on. Sandy and I will be with you on this as well. And this is people can sign up for it now, and we're not going to be moved by fear. We're still going to go, and we're going to, if the doors are still open, we're going to go. And but all of this and more can be found at paulbegleyprophecy.com, and there will be a direct link down in the description, so you don't have to go find it. You just go down there in the description, click it, take you right there. Pastor Paul, you are one of my greatest friends in the whole world. Sandy and I love you, and Heidi, you're just some of our closest friends ever. We thank God for all that you do. And any parting thoughts for the Kingdom Intelligence Report viewers?
Well, I tell you, I love this program. This program you're doing. Your big picture programs that you're doing on Monday night, and this one that comes on Thursday nights, and everything else you're doing, it's really awesome. I encourage all of you to stay with this and keep growing, and let's keep this channel growing, and let's just keep looking up, because our redemption, it's drawing nigh, really is.
Amen. Well, thank you, Pastor, and you have a blessed day. And we'll see you again, same time next month on the Kingdom Intelligence Report. We're here every Thursday night. We have a different person here. As you can see, the Kingdom Intelligence Report has some of the most incredible voices out there. Paul Begley, Ricky Scopero, Stan Deo, Pastor Mark Carell. Every Monday night, Sandy and I host a live breaking news show. It is a show that is awake and not woke. And every Wednesday night, I do a verse-by-verse Bible study that is growing by leaps and bounds each and every week. So thank you once again for being a part. Smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, share this with somebody. And remember, no matter what's going on, we ain't woke, but we are certainly awake. God bless you. See you next time on The Big Picture.